Hi, everyone. This is Heather Hodges. I'm an organizational psychologist. Welcome to my show. This is the place where we say I'm in to creativity, bold thinking, transformational growth, and meaningful conversations. Today, I'm so honored to welcome my friend back to the show, Jennifer Maxwell. She's the co-founder and CEO of Maxwell TEC. And over the years, Jennifer has guided the company through a bold rebrand, reframing its mission to marry cutting-edge technology with servant leadership and data-driven insights to transform home care delivery. And Jennifer is deeply committed to nurturing innovation grounded in real-world outcomes by bridging visionary thinking with operational rigor. Jennifer, welcome back to the show.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. This is your third time on the podcast. So you are my star guest. And so I'm so excited to have our conversation today.
Oh, I'm very honored. And I was thinking about it before we came on. And I remember our planning session a couple months ago about like, what do we want to talk about? What do we want to bring to the table? And I really am excited to kind of close out our 3-part series on this. So
fantastic. Yeah, last time we talked about leading change, and today we're going to be talking about leading innovation. But before we jump into our conversation, yes. I have a question for you. This is a question that I'm starting to ask my guests as we start our conversation. And the question is, what does it mean for you to say, I'm in, to stepping into your full potential?
It's a really good question. I would say for me, it is the commitment, right? It's commitment to the time needed, time spent. We live in a world of easy, quick fixes, but to be really in isn't a quick fix in my eyes. And having that integrity and the strength to go through the ebbs and flows and stay resilient and consistent with ups and downs, I think is what all in means to me.
Wow. That's beautiful, though, that it's not a quick fix. It's the consistency. It's day in, day out. It's discipline. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you for asking.
You bet. Well, when we talk about innovation, it's kind of a buzzword these days, but you are really living it, and your company is driving innovation. So when you use the word innovation, in the context of home health and hospice, what does that look like in practice?
I think, when we look at Maxwell TEC and kind of what we bring to the table for everybody, our core values really explain that in the sense of, we're all about being ingenuity.
Yeah.
Ingenious, like
ingenious. There you go.
Yeah. And then I would say the second big thing is really agility. I mean, you have to be able in our post-acute care space, there is so many ups and downs and twists and turns, and right now we're in the middle of a federal shutdown. We still have a final rule that's supposed to be handed to us by October 31st. We don't know where that's at. We have had no conversations, those types of things. I believe in our space, we have to just be ready to go at any point in time. I mean, it's, and that to me is being innovators in the fact that let's look at all angles, right? Let's look at the best worst case scenario, best case scenario, best middle case scenario, and let's be prepared, right? And I think that also allows your teams to be continuously creative and thinking outside the box. I always like to say, if you pull the duct tape out and you're going to put it on that box, then you're probably not meant for my team. Because we want to stay unduct taped. We want to be able to spread our wings. We want to be able to bring new and fresh thoughts and ideas to the table all the time.
Yeah. What a great metaphor, though. Like, if you're going to duct tape that box where this may not be the place for you. So don't lock it down. We want to be open and innovative and be able to fly in any direction and be ready.
Yeah. Because if we're too stuck in our ways, they're like, oh my gosh, this is how we have to do it.
Yeah.
Time passes by, and in my world, deals go cold, and revenue doesn't come in the door, right?
Yeah.
So, as a business owner, I'm constantly thinking about those types of things. I think as our provider world out there, they're, obviously making sure, can they make payroll? Are they following all the compliance requirements that are necessary? We're even at the point of, do we have the right contracts in place?
Yeah.
Are we serving the right health plans in the right manner, right? Like, those are the things about being innovative and creative and not letting it get stagnant, I think, are really important, foundationals to innovation of itself.
Well, one of the things that, you and I've talked about before, and it's been a big part of my life, is failure. And when we think about creativity and innovation, you can't have innovation without failure. Is there an initiative or a project or something that at Maxwell Tech that didn't go as planned? And, what were the lessons that you took away from that?
I think, for us, like, starting out our platform, our technology platform, all of the right things were in place, right? Like, we were listening, we were doing the things, but what we missed was the brand that was carrying technology forward. So hence the big lift. What we found is we put 2 years worth of work into building tech-enabled, and we didn't have the right platform to tell the story.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of expense went into that, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears from my team and the developers. And, then it came back questioning ourselves. Did we build something that people don't want? And so then you got to step back even a little bit farther and say, well, what is it that we're missing? And we just kind of went through the whole story of things, and, really being able to say that people thought we were a services-based company. They really didn't think that we did all these other things, just from the conversations. Just because, Tom comes from, the technology space, that didn't mean that we were building tech now, because this is such a different entity. And so I think that's really what made us, like, take a few moments, take a couple deep breaths, go, okay, the money that has been invested here is for good cause. It is for the right reasons. It is for patient engagement and outcomes and retention and all the things that agencies are so much needing right now and screaming for. So I would say that was probably the biggest failure that we have really started to hurdle over. But if you didn't have it, I could have told you, we could have sailed as a services company and ebbed and flowed through that. Right before the pandemic hit, we were the number one fastest growing company in the state of Minnesota. We grew revenue 243% year over year for the first 3 years.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, bam, COVID hits. We got to think differently. We can't be on site. We can't do the things that we used to do. We can't pride ourselves on being an extension of an organization. How do we be a virtual extension of an organization to help them get through transition and change and technology implementation and optimization and mergers and acquisitions? But I think the tech was really the one that, like, probably pressed us the hardest. And I'm really proud of how the team has rallied together, brought the swords to the point where we've got the North Star, we're hitting it, and it's really starting to take off. Because now, with the technology forward focus, people get it.
Right. That's so fascinating that for 2 years you were working on the tech that you've got today, And, and I know it's continually evolving because I know your team and I know what they're working on, or that, they tell me how, they're working so hard on the future. But I don't think I made the connection. I realized how important the rebrand was to focus on that. And when you rebranded, girl, you rebranded. It was like,
We did.
Like, what was that like? Did you go to sleep one night as Maxwell Healthcare and woke up Maxwell Tech? It seemed so fast. That was remarkable.
Yeah, well, it had been kind of like teetering, because we're like, why aren't these products hitting? What are we missing? Everybody thought they were fun and cute and all this thing. And I literally were in our October budget planning, which we're about, that happens in 2 weeks here.
Yeah,
again.
Here we are.
Here we go again. But I challenged my leadership team. I'm like, I think we need to rebrand as a tech company, a tech forward company that has strategic solutions. Yeah. And everything that we do is a product, right? Like, an assessment, providing that report out is a product. It's not just a service. Mm-hmm. It's a roadmap for an organization to get healthy again, to find opportunity for optimization and streamlining processes and increasing retention, increasing your bottom line. Like, all of those things are productizable items that we were missing. And the fun part was my marketing team was like, well, we need 9 months. I was like, yeah, I got 6. So the team really hunkered down and put it together really quickly. We had some iterations. We had some discrepancies and disagreements. And, when you think about rebrand, it's your mission. It's your core values. It's your culture. It's not just the logo that you see on the website now. It's not just the list of our new color scheme and all of those things. It takes digging deep on like, okay, what do we want to be known for? And how can we tell that story very succinctly and that people get it and it resonates? Resonation is, I think, one of the biggest things in innovation. You've got to, like, it's one thing to have a really cool gadget or idea, but if it's not going to resonate, like, what are we doing?
But you're right. It's telling the story of it. And how does this help clinicians and companies day to day, but also patients? And that's the story I think Maxwell Tech is telling so well right now, with products like NanoConnect. I mean, that's just so needed. So, congrats, my friend. I mean, it's just so cool.
Well, I feel it's kind of like, I hate that analogy, but like an engine light went off on us saying, okay, we have a warning light here. We're kind of bleeding into all this technology, but we're not selling it. Our services side, strategic services side of the house is still holding its own, and we're doing good there. We're gaining more traction and more brand. It's hard to believe that the company's been around over 9 years now. I mean, like, it seems literally like yesterday that we were sitting in a backyard going, hey, why don't we start a consulting firm? Let's just have some fun. So, fast forward and just really wanting to not only obviously grow strategically the business. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all, I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to, gain traction in the space, but what do we want to do with it? I think that's one of the things that business owners need to really step back and say, what do I want to do with what I'm going to put out there? What I'm going to sell, what I'm going to provide, whatever it is you got to think deep about, like, what is it? What's the difference you want to make in the world or society, or even if it's a small business, that just wants to do something locally for their people. Wow.
You were almost, without even knowing it, you're quoting the late great Jane Goodall, the the primatologist who worked with the chimpanzees, Jane Goodall, she said something almost exactly like that. She said, we all make a difference in the world. You have to decide what kind of difference do you want to make? And that's exactly what you're saying is we're going to do this. How are we going to do it? What do we want to do? Who are we going to serve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because we spend 80% of our lives working, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer, like I want to have fun. If I'm gonna, if 80% of my life is working, I want to have fun doing it.
Yeah.
And I want to make a difference. And I think that the team has really embraced that cause. And everybody has a little different nuance to, what's purposeful for them. But everyone on my team, I can tell you, has just kind of this core, I want to make a difference, X. And I love that. And I love the creativity. I love the individuality of it. I like it, whether it's for personal or professional reasons, or, I want to make my family proud, whatever that might be. I love it that the team embraces that.
Yeah. So your team, I've got, had the deep privilege of working with your team. So I know most of them, I know a lot of them. And so what I'm curious about is the incubation process. So in creativity and innovation, there's this phase where we start mulling ideas over and they're kind of incubating and they're in the pressure cooker and they're working and they're taking shape, and some of the ideas are good and some of them are bad, but inside there's something that's, just this amazing, beautiful nugget of an idea. How does that happen in your organization? How does that work at Maxwell TEC where ideas are incubating before they come to surface?
Yeah. So, we have a couple of different ways that we do that. Each of the teams kind of has a breakdown team underneath the layers of leadership. And we start at the operational level. So we have an OLT that's kind of our mid-management crew that we challenge from a leadership perspective. Hey, what about X, Y, or Z? And they go back to the drawing table and they just get their little creative innovator hats on and they come up with all these ideas, and then they represent back to us. Or I'll take, for example, just yesterday we had our monthly OLT ELT meeting. So our operational leadership team and our executive leadership team meet together. The operational team has made some amazing innovations and optimizations within our operational set of Maxwell TEC itself, and really owning it and being excited about it. We're talking about, databases and data reefs, and we're talking about that even for ourselves. And, just kind of going outside what we're doing for clients, what can we do for ourselves too? And what can we do for our consultants? And what can we do for the internal teams? And it's just been amazing to see what they're bringing to the table. I just get to sit back now and go, gosh, it's a breath of fresh air. Like, when you're the one that starts the company and you're the one with the sleepless nights at the beginning and all the things, to see the team just take that torch and even turn it up higher than it ever has been so inspiring to me, and yet rewarding, and just knowing that I have the best team out there, and I would challenge anybody.
So cool. What role does culture play in leading innovation at Maxwell TEC?
I think it's huge.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that I hold true to is we have to have a positive culture, and we have to have a collaborative culture. We have to have a communicative culture, and, anybody can have any conversation if it's done in the right way. Right. So I do not promote groupthink. I do not promote not quote unquote calling somebody out, there's a way to do that's professional. There's a way to hold each other accountable that is supportive and innovative and creative and collaborative. And so that's what I kind of keep pushing with the team. Our culture is always top of mind for me, especially as a CEO, because it starts at the top. If I'm not promoting the culture the way it needs to be, or I'm not available, then the team is kind of running around without a parent, right? Like there's no boundaries, there's no guidelines, there's no right or wrongs, there's no, hey, what do you think about this? They feel like they're out on an island. If the leaders aren't going to be rolling up their sleeves too and being part of this really cool innovation, right? So,
Exactly.
culture is key. And I hire and fire off of culture. Like if you don't fit my culture, it's just not going to work. Because you could be a good human. You can, this is it. I always tell people, like, I'm probably the most compassionate person in the world, but when it comes to business is business, right? And if you can't fit into the culture, it breeds almost like a cancer. And it just festers, and it's tiny little things here and there, and then tiny little things here and there. And then all of a sudden we've got some turnover.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden we've got, HR is involved in something. Like I just, I really push my leaders underneath me as well to make sure that we are holding the culture at the top level of everything. We can teach anybody anything, but we can't teach people behavioral culture. Right? That's something that you just, it happens, right? Like you feel it. It's like intangible to me. It's an energy that pulls people together that a lot of companies don't have.
No, that's so true. It's the feel of the place. It's how people interact and how work gets done and how we value each other and how we speak to each other and honor each other's contributions.
Yeah. It's like there was one of our portfolio companies. We had some leadership changes, and it was so toxic before we made the changes. And while the company hasn't totally rebounded yet, the culture has, right? You don't walk into the office in the morning and cut the tension with a knife, right? You don't go, oh gosh, these two leaders don't like each other. We have to have a meeting in 2 hours, and you're brooding over the upcoming meeting. Like they're in there. They're like, okay, we know this isn't perfect, but we're ready to do it together. Like it's a togetherness. It's, I'm, also one of those people. I don't like to go too far into the kumbaya circle and the whole thing because it's still hard work, right?
Yeah.
But it's fun work.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and you can have talented terrors on your team who are just brilliant, creative, innovative. But as you said, that can just seep into every interaction and bring the whole team down. And people don't want to work with that. Yeah. And they're looking to the leaders to see if they are going to do anything about it or not. And if they don't, I'll find a place. Yeah, I'm out of here. And that's a great way to lose good people.
It is because nowadays, hiring people is not the easiest task in the world, right? Like, most companies, of our level and like even other agencies, you're hiring remote staff. Like, so, there's a lot of pressure on HR and the hiring managers and all the things. And so you got to have all the keys in place and the checks and balances to make sure, like, hey, okay, is this person really a good fit? They might not have these couple of skill sets, but they fit really well with the team that they're about to walk into. What can we do to bridge that gap? I would rather lift up than have to bring down to a level, like somebody that's like overqualified and doesn't have the cultural fit. Like I would take a recent grad over a tenured person any day if we were hungry, humble, and smart. Yeah, those are the three just like things I can't teach. Yeah, and my teams can't teach, my leaders can't teach. And I think that's just key.
Yeah, those are your non-negotiables. And you and I have talked about those before. Like those are foundational, non-negotiable if you're going to work on this team. Hungry,
Yeah.
humble, and smart.
And smart.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And Tom always says to me, he's like, I don't care if you have a degree in basket weaving, as long as you followed through and you got done in 4 years, that shows me you are committed and you finished, right? Like those are things you can't teach now. And at first I would always laugh at him. I'm like, but there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah. If you can follow through, stay committed. You have that grit just to keep going for real.
Yeah.
Well, what about you? How do you keep your own gritty mindset, your own innovative mindset? Especially we're in this field where there's a lot of risk right now, and healthcare in general is risk-averse.
Right.
And that's kind of the default position. How do you keep your innovative mindset through all of that?
It's a challenge. Like, it's not 100%, perfect, spot on every single day, right? Like those are, that would be looking through life with rose-colored glasses, right? Like, there are ups and downs to that. But I would say what kind of keeps me, what keeps me excited is the excitement of my team. I've been like my team, I have some senior team members and things like that, but most of my team is pretty young and full of spry and full of energy and just like it, blinders coming off into the real world, right? Like that. I love seeing that fresh excitement, and that energizes me to stay energized, right? Yeah. It's easy to get, like to your point, it's easy to get tired in the space. It really can. But seeing how excited they are gets me even more excited.
I totally get that. That's,
right.
Just feeding off that energy when the excitement's there, a new project or a new challenge. It's, it's invigorating.
Yeah. It's almost like a three espresso lattes, right there.
Charge it up. Yeah.
Charge it up.
Caffeinated.
Yeah. It's like I get so excited, when the team, gets out, brings all these ideas together and everybody's laughing and cheering each other on. And, it might be on a Teams meeting, but we're getting claps and hearts and all the things like that brings me energy.
Bottle that, Jen. Let's go. I love it.
If I could sell that, I'd be rich.
There you go. And make the world happier too.
Exactly.
Do you think that your leadership style, your way of leading innovation has changed over the years from like your early days of your career to now? Like how have you done that? Yeah.
I came in, I might have been on our first podcast together, but I came into this world with a pretty big chip on my shoulder. I had a lot to prove, right? I just felt like I needed to show the world that I am amazing, that I am this, I, and you get clunked in the chin quite a few times, with that type of mentality and that attitude. And so slowly evolving through that and having leaders and mentors above me that allowed me to be innovative and creative. I think that's like this whole topic that we're talking about today is having innovative leaders above me really helped to evolve me in the sense that there's not a bad idea. We want to bring ideas. We want to bring opportunity. We want to bring potential solutions. And, it's not just about, we have a problem, but what are we going to do about the problem? Let's get excited about how we fix the problem or potential solutions to the problem. That's kind of where I feel like I've evolved from, no, it has to be this way to, oh, wait, there's all of this out here that we could be doing together. And everybody's ideas could create something really cool, right? And then I had so I evolved from that, but then I also evolved into the helper, right? Like, oh my gosh, they're not getting it. So I'm going to just dive down and fix it for them, And so I would just be like, floating up here. Oh, we have a problem. Jen's going to go fix it.
Yeah.
And
how'd that work?
Oh my gosh. Exhausting.
Yeah.
You know what? There's only so much caffeine in a day that you can drink to be able to withstand that for years. Right. And so, one of my mentors about 4 years ago, or one of my coaches said to me, he's like, you need to write a letter to your cape. You're superwoman, and that's awesome. But you have a great team that is ready to take it on for you and help you. And it's not, you don't have to do this on your own anymore, because you have this really amazing group of people that are energized by you, that stand behind what Maxwell means, that are excited to make a difference in the industry and want to do it. And they want to grow professionally, you know, when you're at your peak of your career, where do you go? Right? Like, okay, I can't carry the cape forever because I'm going to run out of steam and, we're going to crash and burn. And so writing that letter to my cape was probably the best thing that I ever did. Wow. And letting go of trying to fix things, because you asked the question about failure earlier on. If I never let my team fail, how are they ever going to be successful? Right? And so they've all had to take little knocks on their knees and, on the chin and stuff too. And I think that's all part of the growth. If we don't experience those things, we can't be resilient, and we can't be creative, and we can't be innovative, because we don't know what it's like to be on the other side.
Yeah. And we learn more from failure than we do from success.
Exactly. Because success can be kind of, ego puffing.
Yeah.
Instead of like, and I definitely believe in having a good ego, but you need to have a balanced ego when it comes to, I'm smart, I'm good enough, I deserve to be here. I know I'm a good business person, and I'm successful, etc. But you got to have a balance there, right?
Absolutely. I think, what do they say? Slow success builds character. Fast success builds ego.
Yeah.
I'll take slow.
And I've seen people who have had both, and it's eye-opening to watch how people respond to it.
Wow. Well, one of the things I've noticed about you is you're a talent magnet. You draw people to you who are brilliant. They are award-winning leaders in their own right, and you surrounded yourself with these folks. And so, write that letter to your cape, lady. That's You've done that. You have, this team that is Maxwell TEC now is remarkable. So I'm
so proud of them.
It's fun to watch.
It is. It's just, when you can go on a vacation and leave the country for 2.5 weeks and not worry.
Yes.
And
that's a good sign.
As an owner, as a founder, as a CEO, I can come back recharged.
Yeah. That's peace of mind. That's awesome.
It is. Yeah. I love it. And I am a firm believer, put people who are smarter than you around you. Right? Because
absolutely.
If you think you're put on this world to know everything, you're never gonna succeed.
No, we can't possibly.
No, I mean, your biological mitochondria cannot withhold that much information, right? We physically can't do it. And so being humble enough to be able to say, you know what, I'm not going to know everything. I don't need to be the expert. I need to know enough to support my team, to get them to the next level, to get them excited about the next challenge or the next opportunity, right? Those are the things that true leaders that lead through innovation do, right?
Absolutely. Well, I'm curious, what if you were to like look into your crystal ball, what innovation trends or even emerging technologies in home care are you most excited about for the next year or so?
I would say, obviously our platform at Maxwell TEC, our Nana Connect platform is obviously, near and dear to Tom and I's heart. And it's all about patient communication, families, engagement, being able to support people real time in a real space, right? Like that's huge. And then obviously, enhancing that with AI, because AI is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. We don't need to be afraid of it. I think we embrace it. And I think we leverage it within our organizations that makes sense, right? There's so many opportunities out there. I think it's just more of I think the bigger challenge is stepping back as an organization and saying, what does AI mean to my organization or my clients or my customers or my patients or my staff, right? And then formulating, what it is that you want around that.
Wow. Okay. So that was close up. If we were to go 5 years down the road, if you could guarantee one moonshot innovation for Maxwell TEC to deliver by, let's say, 2030, so that's, 5 years away, what would it be?
I think what I would like to see Maxwell TEC be able to do is continuously evolve the communication platform to have additional nuances that can capture moments and capture interactions and really bring people together, even though it's virtually. So that's one. And then I would say the other piece is really being able to take our technology to every healthcare vertical. I mean, there's, at the end of the day, communication is necessary in all of healthcare.
Yes.
And it's the one thing we don't do well in healthcare. So like, how do we make a difference in communication across all healthcare verticals? Yeah. Whether that's interoperability, whether that's patient engagement, whether that's employee engagement and retention, outcomes, being able to, sift through data and leverage AI so that we can figure out the best care plan, the best outcome, the opportunity for optimization, whatever that might be. That's where I want Maxwell TEC to be. I want us to be the what we used to call with our vendor partners, which are now solution partners within our organization. We want to be that trailblazer.
I love that. Your vision is just stunning. It's extraordinary. I love thinking about it that way. That's so cool. Well, Jen, this has been a fun conversation. Before I let you go, Percy is around here somewhere. He's like waddling around looking, to ask you some questions. So Percy, are you there? Come on in. Okay, Percy, thank you so much for these questions. Jen, as you know the drill. Percy has 2 questions for you. And his first question is from a previous guest and someone you and I both know, Bob Roth of Cypress Home Care Solutions right there in Scottsdale.
Right here in Scottsdale, yeah.
That's right, yeah. So Bob's question is, Percy, this is a hard question for Jen. Okay, Jen, you ready?
Yep.
Bob's question is, what keeps you up at night?
That's a doozy. I would say what keeps me up at night is probably more global than it is personal at this point in my life. Obviously, always, worried about family and, health and security for those around me. But I would say, I think what keeps me up at night is where are we going to go with in-home care? When are we going to all get it? Like those of us that get it, right? That care in the home is where we need to be. Yeah. and we make that the priority, that's what keeps me up at night. If there was a key phrase or March on Washington that I could do or say, or get a group of legislators together to get it and really hone in on it, I think that that's probably what keeps me up at night, because, I don't want to pass away in a facility. I don't want to pass away, with not around my loved ones or my fur babies or, my friends and family. Like, I want that to be personal and special and of the most respect and compassion that could ever happen. And I think, and that's what keeps me up at night, is like, how can we get the other side to see that this is so humanly important? Humanly important.
Yeah. Wow. You're so right. It's the American population is aging fast, and the baby boomers are the silver tsunami.
Yep.
And we don't have enough caretakers to take care of them. But most people, 90% is it that want to age in place. They want to be taken care of in their home. Not to mention it's cheaper and better. And so how do we get the other side? How do we get everybody to understand this is the human solution?
Yeah.
Wow. Gosh, Jen, big thoughts, girl. But so important. Okay. Percy's second question is, he wants to know, what one question would you like to ask a future guest?
So I'm going to go outside of like the very serious side of questioning and say, tell me what is your most favorite podcast and why?
Like the actual podcast, not the podcast episode, but the podcast.
Like the actual holistic. It's kind of like,
what's your favorite show?
Yeah, a show. Because when I'm the type of person, when I get into an author, I read every one of their books, and then I'm stalemated, right? It's the same way
you can't pick up another one.
No, so I'm always interested to know what other people are listening to and why. Yeah. Because I always want to have a creative mind and an ageless brain, like Dr. Brednison.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Okay, what's your favorite podcast and why? Awesome. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your insights, your vision with us today. Anything new about how our listeners can get a hold of you or find you?
Yeah, I would say at our website at maxwelltech.com. I'd also like to plug out Last Visit First with Tom Maxwell. Yeah. The podcast is taking off, and we are having some massive, massive conversations with leaders in the space. And it is so refreshing to hear the compassion, to hear kind of what we talked about today, the ups and the downs and the lessons learned, and why people stay compassionate and excited about this space.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I will definitely put a link to Last Visit First podcast with Tom Maxwell in the episode note, because we also know that Cole Sorensen is the producer of that show, who happens to be your son. And the producer of this show is my son. So it's pretty, pretty cool.
See that we have more things in common, and I love it.
Every day. Oh my gosh, Jen, thank you so much for coming back. And I hope that I can entice you to come back again someday, and we'll continue our conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Heather.
And thank you to our listeners for joining us in this conversation. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review and share it with somebody who could use a dose of creativity and inspiration. So until next time, keep saying amen to creativity and bold thinking and transformational growth and meaningful conversations. May you be wildly creative in your life and leadership. I'll see you soon.